Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, and she is back. Somebody who's helped me with mindset. She has something called the thought. What is it called again? The thought download.
Yep, thought download.
I couldn't read my writing. Thought download is very helpful, something I'm starting to practice. But in this episode, we're going to talk about getting started in real estate. She is part of the #1 investor in my market with Jason Pritchard. She is helping the team do bigger and bigger things. So lots of people are reaching out how to get started. Morgan, where do you take that person when they reach out to you? You have that 30-minute call with them. How do you help them get started? What are they asking you? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so it depends, honestly. Some people are wanting to get started as a realtor and get more involved in doing like investment type stuff with an investor like I do with Jason. And they're like, how did you get involved with him? And so I tell them that story, and I tell them, you just got to be aware of the opportunities around you. You've got to make connections and build your network. Like I told you in my other interview with you, I reached out to Jason because he posted an ad for a position. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know what, that's really scary. I've never done this, but I'm going to freaking reach out to him and see where it goes. And that's what I did. So I say, you just got to start somewhere, and don't be afraid to get yourself uncomfortable and do things that you've never done before.
Yeah. Let's talk about a realtor, because I get this question a lot, and our opinions may be very different. So this ought to be fun. So you get an investor, they don't have their license yet. So they're that person.
Yeah.
They're excited by real estate. Mm-hmm. And they reach out to you, Morgan, and their first question, or maybe the second one, is, should I get my license?
I had that question yesterday in one of my meetings with someone, and I said, yes. I said, should you? It's up to you. Mm-hmm. I said, I believe that it's very beneficial. You don't have to have it as an investor. You don't. Mm-hmm. Lots of us investors that don't have it, but I would say that it's definitely beneficial, and it's worth having it because, one, it can get you in the door to other deals. Mm-hmm. It can, you're able to leverage that license in other ways where people want to do business with you, or you're able to do business with other realtors and co-list a property, but you do none of the work, but you get the commission. So that's another way you can, make money there. And you'll have access to the MLS, which is very helpful. The real MLS. Yeah. There's just lots of perks, lots of little perks. And I think Jason would say it's 100% worth it to get your license.
I'm on the other end of that, which I kind of suspected. So you probably, So you might not know this, right? Obviously I didn't have my license for a long time. I earned financial independence. One of the first things I did after I left my job was get my license. Okay. Why did I get my license? There was only one reason. I got my license because I thought the MLS, like the real MLS, had data that I couldn't see.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And today, like when I started investing in 2000, absolutely did. Today with Zillow and Redfin in the feeds,
you can find everything you want to find. And I do agree with that. I think the MLS has features that I really
correct. Oh, it does. Like history. It's got historical data and
all that.
Don't care. I only wanted deals.
Yeah. No. And like I said, it's not necessary. You don't have to have a realtor's license to be a successful investor. You just don't.
No,
but it's helpful.
No, sure. It is. And again, I just want to be very clear, right? So if you're doing it for data, don't bother. If you hate paperwork, don't bother. Lots of paperwork. But there are, the thing that bothers me about that question is most people look at the license and they think it's selling Sunset or any of these, reality TV shows where it's all glitz and glamour and it's easy. It is a hard business. It is a business where you are paid last. It is a business where you could do everything right and get no money. It is, and it takes time, right? I forget. It took me, I did it online, or I studied online. I think it was like 100 hours or something over like 6 or 8 weeks. It was 10 weeks, maybe. Yeah. It was an ordeal.
40 hours, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it was an ordeal. And if you're really, the end goal is just to get more deals, frankly, well, let's say it this way. If your goal is to be a better investor, that real estate exam does nothing to make you a better investor. Nothing. It's all T's and C's and do's and don'ts and forms of this and disclosure that. And There is nothing in at least the real estate exam that I took that
Yeah.
made me a better investor.
Right.
Nothing.
No, I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
But again, you can get commissions. You can like, for example, I just told you that I think it is not worth this, but the 2 years that I had it, I think it was good for 2 years. I made like $36,000. Why?
Yeah.
Because I got half the commission on everything I sold. I never represented anybody else.
Right.
But hey, I had a license. I split the commission with someone. I didn't do anything, right?
And I think that is something that Jason does take advantage of for sure with that. And so if you're interested in doing that, then yeah, go ahead and do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm to the point where I'm lucky enough where I don't need that. But I mean, 36 grand. I mean, that paid for my season tickets to the Warriors, right? So
there you go.
worked for me. But yeah, it's I think too many people see the license as the thing that is going to make them an investor.
Yeah,
and that is not a chain that I want them on.
No.
If you're going to get your license because you see it as some part-time income, or you want to get a piece of your deals, if you want to get referral fees, right? If you have a plan that leads to money, great. If you're coming to it to make you a better investor, don't do it. If you're coming because you saw Selling Sunset, you think it's all glitz and glamour, everybody dresses up, don't do it. If you're coming to be a real estate agent because you think it's easy, you're crazy.
Definitely don't do it.
Yeah, crazy. And oh, by the way, I'm on record that the next 2 years are going to be the worst 2 years for transactions in a long time. So commissions are going to go way down. Yep. So again, I think there's a lot of reasons not to. There's a couple that make it okay. So I figured we'd disagree.
And that's okay.
Yeah, I don't care. It's fine. So,
but yeah, no. And I do agree with some of the stuff that you mentioned there.
Yeah. So again, so they're coming to you. We're past the license question.
Yeah, we're past the license question. If they want to just get started in investing and wholesaling or.
Yeah. So why is that? I want to know this, right? Are they reaching out to you because they think the money's easy?
Some people, yeah. I'd say the younger they are, the more they seem to think that it might be a quick and easy thing to learn and start making big money pretty fast. And I always tell them, definitely not. That's not the way this works.
I mean, it's not as easy as Instagram makes it look.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, I mean, gosh, it takes some people a year to get their first deal. And that's common.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but my second book, Jason and his wife Jennifer, is one of the chapters.
Yes.
And Jason talks about he got his first deal relatively quickly, and then it was like 6 months. He was living off credit cards.
Yeah, he was.
You know how scary that would be?
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
I know.
It all worked out, obviously, but damn.
I know. Yeah, exactly. You've got to have a good head on your shoulders and know once you start making the money, you've got to know how to use it in the right way.
Yeah. And let's talk about the Jason and Jennifer thing that I don't think gets talked about enough. They were on the same page day one. They were ride or die together. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of real estate couples where one is excited and the other is like, are you freaking kidding me?
Oh yeah.
Right. So let's talk about how you handle those discussions.
When they're a couple?
Yeah. Like, hey, like, let's flip it. Like, you want to do real estate investing. Your husband's like, no, too risky. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, you've got to have those discussions.
Yeah, no, it's true. You do. I think, oh gosh, I mean, I think one, you've got to get on as close to being on the same page as possible, even if they don't totally agree. But I'd say give reasons, give evidence of why you believe in this and why you think that this is worth going after.
Yeah.
And do your research. Don't just say, okay, I'm just gonna go for it, and we'll just do this, and we'll dump a bunch
burn the boats
of money into these lists and these deals and stuff that we're gonna, or people but I say, do your research, know your strategy, figure out what works for other people, decide on a marketing campaign, and be consistent.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
as long as you're consistent and you stick with it, you're going to eventually see results. And then I think that happened with Jen. Once she started to see results from Jason, then that helped her change her belief system in that, like, okay, this really can't go somewhere. This really, I believe in you more now than I did before, even though she was on board.
Oh yeah.
No, it was hard because like 8 months into it, he wasn't like making a bunch of money yet or anything. And she was like, dude, you got to get your crap together.
Yeah.
There are all these deals you think that you told me that you're going to get. So, so yeah, no, it does. It makes a difference.
Yeah. So I've had this conversation hundreds of times. It is not lost on me. I've given Olivia credit in both books. We were on day, she was on day one, equally committed. So I was very lucky, but I've had this conversation hundreds of times. The first thing you need to do is you need to shut up and listen. The person that's really excited, you need to shut up and listen. Your excitement is clearly not transferring to the other one. The receiver is retreating. The more that you scream, jump up and down, they're going to retreat more. So do yourself a favor, shut up and listen. They're probably going to tell you why they're scared. Maybe it's family, maybe it's history, right? A lot of people getting started today, one of the other's families got foreclosed on. Yeah. Listen to that story, right? The Great Recession is not that long ago. And you need to listen. The second thing you need to do is you need to sow evidence. What do I mean by evidence? One of the things that I talk about in Teach is I talk about you have to learn your market. It takes 90 days, 120 days. I call it a buy box. Go do the work. It doesn't cost you anything other than time to do the work. Go, even if it's online, go look at 100, go look at 200 properties, get a list, organize the list. And I promise you, if you take that list to your significant other and say, honey, I've just spent 100 hours or 100 days or whatever it is, and here's all the listings. Here are the 10 best or 5 best, and here are the 5 worst. Prove to them that you have done the work, and you will get them closer. Because a lot of times what happens is I get people the easy money syndrome. You're going to do real estate investing now because you saw flip this house or a triple digit flip or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks ago, you were an Amazon drop shipper. And before that, you were a, whatever.
Right.
Stop it. You got to realize that you got to do the work once. And so those are some things that I tell people to do.
That's very good advice. I like that a lot. And I think that goes a long way.
Yeah. Just sometimes you got to go slow to go fast.
You do. That's a very good way to say it. You do. You got to go slow to go fast. And you absolutely do need to, especially when someone else is involved and it's your spouse or someone you love. You've got to hear them out. You've got to
listen,
validate their concerns and be patient with them because you're asking them to be patient with you while you chase this dream that you believe in. So it's like, be patient with them too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other things that kind of, you got to remember, if you're reaching out to Morgan or Jason or Jennifer, or any of these amazing investors in Fresno, is don't compare yourself to them today, right? There's a lot of people, Jason's got 15 years on him, something like that. Don't compare Jason today doing 7 figures and all these amazing things and vacationing here and there and flying private and all of that. Remember Jason's story in the beginning, right? Living on credit cards, stressed out. Yep. It's don't compare your first step with someone else's 15th step. Don't do that, right?
Don't do that. That's a mindset game, and you will lose if you do that.
Yeah, that does not end well. I promise.
It does not end well for anybody.
Oh man, this is awesome. So tell people if they want to reach out to you either for mindset or real estate, what day of the week do you do these phone calls?
I do the phone calls every Wednesday at noon, and you can reach out to me at Morgan Kennington Realtor.
Awesome. Follow her on Instagram, folks. If you want to buy something in Fresno, reach out to Morgan. And again, I will put the calendar link below episode 2 and 3 if you want to reach out and get half hour of her time. Thanks, Morgan.
Awesome. Thanks, Zuber. I appreciate it.